We didn't. Everything with this,
Ina said she was listening online and she couldn't hear anything. She said she could hear Noah. And I think,
It was pretty hard to hear.
Was it?
And yeah, if people were up like this, like you could hear them, but people often weren't.
I did have, Ryan Adams come take a look.
oh,
He's gonna put together a quote for some ceiling mics.
It was just capture everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be expensive. So
She only
be
need
prepared,
two, right?
but, I think we thought 2 to 3. Because a third one would cover that corner over there.
So, yeah.
problem solved.
Everybody's excited, so whenever you're ready.
I'm gonna call the meeting to order and start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mochler.
Here.
Graylow.
Here.
Brady.
Here.
Easy.
Here.
Gilbertson.
Here.
Approve agenda with the addition of aerial services under ditch board and executive session for contractual. So,
Second.
a motion and a second, further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Any conflict of interest declarations? Hearing none, approve minutes from March 16th joint meeting and March 17th, 2026 meeting.
So I would move to approve, but I think I should offer the amendment. So I was kind of in that meeting, the joint meeting by phone, but not. So I could hear basically what Kevin was saying, but I couldn't follow any of the rest of the conversation, and I think it's probably not accurate to say that I was present. So,
Okay,
But you were, I mean, it falls under statute of what constitutes being part of an open meeting, right?
and I guess I did call in. So even if I just couldn't hear all that well, I guess if I zoomed in and everybody was leaning back from their microphones, I'd still be here too. Okay, yeah,
It could be fair though to just note.
to note that you couldn't hear very well.
maybe no.
Yeah.
So other than that. Yeah. move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. Any visitors to be heard? Andy?
And this isn't on the agenda. We can put it on an agenda, but I'm just gonna get your thoughts. It needed to be sometime back, last fall, I believe, after we moved into the other building, we had a discussion. We issued an RFP for someone to place ATM in our jail lobby. And that all got approved. We got no responses. And so nobody responded at all to that, including Chad Grunwald, who had actually put one in the lobby, moved it from this lobby to there. He didn't give us a response on that either. Meanwhile, the ATM's just sitting there with an out of order sign on it. It's been a non-issue for me to deal with when I've had other more important things to worry about. And so I thought I'd address this with you. The statute permits when there are no bids received for us to negotiate for bids. And truthfully, this issue doesn't even require bidding. I don't think it does. It's we don't spend any money. And so I don't know if it's even required, but I was just gonna get some direction on whether or not you want to put it on an agenda, reissue the RFP, whether or not I should negotiate or just permit Chad to turn on his ATM.
We need it on the agenda.
Well,
If we're gonna discuss it.
to do any official action, you would need to have it on the agenda. You do have, I believe, the last involvement of this body was to essentially relinquish and say, let Sheriff Howe handle this situation. So it doesn't require bidding. I agree generally with that. So ultimately, I think it's probably should just be added back onto the agenda to determine whether or not that's a decision for you to make or if it's a decision for the board to make. But either way, should probably just be an agenda item before official action.
Yeah, 2 more weeks won't change anything. It's been months that thing's been sitting there. I just kind of walked by it, know that, it's time to get back to this, get this thing going or removed, so thought I'd bring it up today. We can put
It's
it
not
on.
something you really need, or
No, it's just a service to folks that come in.
some people do use it though.
Yeah, I think so. Chad's fees are higher than banks typically are, but he's the one placing it there. Because of the fees, I probably wouldn't use it myself, but when I can, go to another one with no fees, but sometimes folks they need to access some funds and it's handy to have there, especially where we are. The nearest one then would, I guess, be down the road at Cherry and Stanford, so there is one nearby, but some people would choose to use it.
What are the main transactions you guys use for it?
Well, when we had one in our lobby here at this building, people would drive up in their cars and get out and come in and use it and leave. So I don't know what that's for.
Yeah, I suppose. right?
Yeah, it is. And then, meanwhile, people that need to post bond, if their daily limits allow it, they might get bond money out of there. What I believe it was used for the most, when we had one in our lobby, when we were in this building, was people would come to get their fingerprints taken and there would be a fee for that. And they would, use the ATM because the fee was lower than using their credit card.
Okay.
And, in this case here, I think it'd be the other way around. The ATM fees would be higher than the credit card fees, but they can make their own choice on that. It just made it available to them.
And so they do have the option to use a card at the window. There's just a fee that our vendor is.
Exactly, yeah.
What is that fee?
Our fee, I think it's like 10%, something like that, or no, it's not that much. There's a minimum and then it goes on a percentage after a minimum of what our card processor charges. Honestly, I can't remember.
Okay.
But for a $20 transaction for fingerprints, it's $2. That's why I said 10%, but I think that's the minimum.
Okay.
And so, but it's $5 at this ATM.
$5 per transaction.
That's what Chad that's what he had told me when he first brought it
I
up.
remembered it as high in our previous discussion, but I didn't remember it as that.
So I'll talk to you about it next meeting.
Any other visitors to be heard? Hearing none. Noah. Proposed ordinance for mobile manufactured homes.
Good morning, gentlemen. Just bringing up an ordinance, I already went through the planning and zoning commission, with a 5 recommendation with a minor adjustment. The minor adjustment was just removing on section G. It had building code. We don't use a building code here. So it just refers back to the state. So that's what the recommendation was, and along with some updates to grammar. But no, the reason for this is right now, the way the ordinance is written, Madison Governor Homes, like houses that are placed on permanent foundations all have to get a conditional use. They don't have any trailers or anything like that attached to it, so you can't just move it. To me, I think that's a little silly if you can build a house on site, but you can't place a house on site. And plus, these are more affordable, so. Trying to help address the affordability issue that's going on. I know I have a lot of people that come into my office asking about this, but they don't want to do the conditional use permit process, so trying to streamline a little bit, let people do what they want to do.
Yeah, it seems, so my reading of this is that it seems to make modular homes fit into our regular stick-built home ordinance. And just separates that class of homes out from the mobile homes
In
and manufactured
Yes.
homes. And like, they, there's you can't move them after a certain date, things like that, so those sorts of things, this would be.
This is, yeah, so this is just adding another definition. So right now we have mobile and manufactured. Those have trailer hitches and trailer chassis still attached. Or it just has a skirt around the bottom. This one would be, it's on a permanent foundation. It looks like a house, it is a house kind of thing. So, and driving up to Sioux Falls, you see the billboards for $89 or $100 a square foot. It's like, yeah, a lot of people can afford that, so.
There are a few analyses that that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons houses are so expensive, they're like a custom made shoe every time you build one,
Yeah.
rather than having a shoe bag.
Yeah, and just looking at some of the houses that I've seen, that are modular. you know, if you didn't tell me they were modular, I wouldn't second guess it. I know there's one over in Bliss Point that it's just in. So. Yeah, so that's the reason why I'm adding this update, so.
Did Linnea enter the room for a reason?
Yeah. I just wanted to chime in that I'm in favor of this change. I think we've had a lot of, my office is the one that kind of follows up on all the homes being built. And the people that have a home that does not have a serial number, does not have a title, that are still required to have a conditional use permit have been very frustrated with that process. So I think this is a good change.
Linnea. And no, either one of you, are you aware, is it true that the university purchased suburban courts?
That I have no idea.
We have had a few calls that people in suburban received letters there was new ownership. And how to get a hold of them. I did not personally talk to them. Melissa talked to them. I've had a representative from the VCDC in asking me about it. We have no transfers or deeds come through Register of Deeds. I'm wondering how much of it is just confusion because that new track field house is going just north of suburban. They've owned that property, I believe, I looked it up yesterday, since 2014, either through the foundation or Board of Regents. So that has been their property. It's their intention to have university use on the field to the north of them. I've heard nothing further about whether they actually purchased Suburban Mobile Home Park, but I am aware that some homeowners receive letters. There is new, whether it's new ownership or new management, I have not seen the letter. Because there could have been misunderstanding there too, that maybe they got a new property manager and that was what the letter was about and someone mistook it for new ownership. I don't know. I haven't seen. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
yes, but I'm
Through other channels, I was just kind of curious, because that's gonna impact the affordable housing. But
Correct, and that's one of the reasons is, you know. You can say it's 1,500 square feet, it costs you $200,000 plus the $30,000 lot, which is the average in per million or around in the area. If you were to do that, we could then, you know, start making a little bit more affordable housing. That actually builds equity over time instead of just, you know, potentially deteriorating over the course of 20 years.
I'd say the biggest reason this change is something, think of Governor's Homes, right? That is something that's being moved in. It's not built on site, and right now it falls under the need for a conditional use permit. The other one is like the homes that are being built up in Madison and moved in. We have several of those in the north part of the county. They meet code, they're stick built, you know, but because it's moved in, needs a condition, there's no history of, again, title work, serial numbers. That's kind of the differentiating thing for our offices. And whether or not you can get traditional financing, you know, that all depends on whether or not it's, and so this is just another step in the process of differentiating at the county side. Hey, this isn't a mobile home. This is a stick-built home. So
I think it seems like a great idea. I move to approve the ordinance.
I second, this is progress.
Will there be?
Second.
Yeah, we'll have a second reading.
Yeah, I move this to a second reading. That's what I meant.
So it was, and the recommendation from planning and zoning was to remove G1. As far as, I think that's important as far as the discussion and ultimately motions.
That makes sense.
Also there should be, there's
One.
Or all of G.
No.
Yeah, so already removed, so this, the
No,
one in front of
we
you. is
just
for
removed
proposed.
some wording in G.
Yeah,
Because it's not in here now, right?
yeah, correct, I handed you the
oh,
recommended
did you
one.
hand them out?
Yeah, I handed the recommended.
I went looking for it in
Oh,
here.
I didn't hear, so I was thinking it's just
Yeah,
I'm looking at the packet, so I don't have.
Oh, I'm looking
I
at
don't
the
have-
packet too.
Yeah, no, it was in the packet one, but it's not in this one.
So,
Yeah, no, it's been removed out of the one handed out.
Okay.
I do have a question on C. Now, 2-3 years ago. We had this discussion that nothing was supposed to be over 30 years old. That was just gonna be a moving number.
correct,
Did
so
that not get changed?
No, that was,
We talked about that.
That was, I
So-
thought that was for to move.
Yeah,
Just move.
So we have a 20-year-old, so if it's over 20 years old. You know, it can't, by the way it's worded, it just can't come into the county.
So this,
What is this saying? though?
I do believe that that's a separate issue. This ordinance, the Planning and Zoning Commission didn't contemplate C. The only thing they talked about was adding, the language that's highlighted. So as far as purposes of like passing through what we've discussed here today, separate conversation. I think it's one that you can have, but just to ensure that it's, we understand that's a separate conversation and that has not been action, at least that was taken by planning and zoning.
Yeah, so just the yellow is what's being recommended today. So just the highlighted yellow part is what we would be amending.
But where's the 20-year? Because why is that even in there if we're doing 20 years? What does it matter if it's constructed 40 years ago?
I don't recall, I know what you're talking about. I haven't analyzed it.
It says it may be considered for conditional use. Under C.
you're just wondering where is that language in here since this.
Like we talked about this, if it's been totally remodeled. And it's, on or after 1970, if it's a 40-year-old mobile home and they've totally redone it. And they apply for conditional use, it can be considered. Okay. But otherwise, it can't just be a trailer. Yeah. Pulled out of the city.
There was a new ordinance added, is that
Yeah,
correct?
Yeah,
About a
that was
year ago?
2022 or 2023, I believe.
Right.
That was the 20-year one, and that's the one that it just reads, if it's 20 years old. Rolling date, hard stop. So it doesn't give any leniency in that one.
So it may be appropriate.
What's the difference then?
Well, and I don't know, because I was here when we had this discussion. I just don't recall. I feel like this was a year or 18 months ago. Which
Which was still important.
No, this language is not right here. There's the C1 that's in our ordinance like our ordinance on the website, the 2022 ordinance on the website. As C1 reading, the structure shall have been constructed within the last 20 years, according to the listed date of manufacturer. So that this is just this is a typo in this draft of this.
Must
That
be
hasn't been changed.
an older
That
version.
weren't on here.
I
That was
worked
the
with
only
Steve
language
to get
changed
this.
at that time. So.
Or we need them to match.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so what's the 2023 ordinance that's on the website?
I know.
Includes that, so I would just say that when we make the motion here, that this includes. For C1, it reads, as it reads in our current ordinance, the structure shall have been constructed within the last 20 years according to listed data manufacturer.
Okay.
Is that the only thing that's different? I mean,
It's the only thing we changed at that time, but
Right, but
we should look it over probably, I suppose.
we don't have the right ordinance in our hand the way it is. That's a problem, because somebody's gonna look at this. Somebody can hold this from whenever we approve it, and go, here's your ordinance you passed. I don't care what's online.
Right.
So we need the right ordinance.
Yeah, at this time, it'd probably be prudent to just move this to a second first reading. After asking Noah to go back and ensuring that 23 language is consistent everywhere else, come back and just do a second first read.
Okay.
Just from a procedural standpoint, just to ensure that there's no question.
If that's all right, and it's not gonna be too much of a burden for anybody.
Well, it's the only way it's gonna make it legal.
I mean, we could quickly go through and verify that that's the only change here. My expectation, that's the only one that I see. We could just run through it quick, and if that's the only change, I don't feel like that's a substantive change, because this is just a typo in the draft that we have in front of us. We're not
That's substantial.
adding that language. Well,
Yeah, but if we adopt this, we're changing 2023.
I would say we are adopting everything that is in yellow is the modifications of the ordinance as intended.
But if a judge got a hold of this and be like, that's here, and this is the original document, you will pass it.
If there's concerns about that it's 2 more weeks, but yeah.
I think it'd be best.
I'll rescind my motion, and I moved it, yeah.
I don't have the ordinance, but what does the ordinance say?
On that section?
Yeah.
So in what we have in front of us, C1.
I have that.
You got that, so it reads. The structure shall have been constructed within the last 20 years according to the listed date of manufacture.
Okay. So this has here may be considered for conditional use.
Yep. That all is
If it-
unchanged,
What's that?
and that's all unchanged, yep.
Even the 20-year-old one may be considered.
Okay, so that's what,
Because that was the change that we made last year.
So that's how
and
it's
not
worded
reflected
in-
this.
online also is
Yes.
maybe considered for conditional use.
Because at that time, we were arguing that a 10-year-old one might be junk, and we didn't want to count into the count. So they all need a conditional use. They just have to be, worthy of moving.
As I see it, the issue here is that the language that we're working off of is not on the most current. Version of the ordinance. I think just for purposes of that, it would be prudent to just redo the first reading. And then it's a 2-week gap, but it keeps us moving forward.
I'll go ahead and edit that real quick.
You have to rescind your motion.
Yeah, I think I rescinded and made a new motion that we have a second reading with the. these
Second
changes.
first reading.
Or second first reading.
Second.
A motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign.
Thank you.
Thanks, Noah. Brent? Set bid opening for removal and replacement of year 14-030-1 which is.
Oh, that's that, that bridge over the Clay Yankton ditch there.
Okay.
Get there. Yep. So I sent that out to some contractors and stuff, so hopefully, get some good bids coming in for the 14th.
Yes.
Yep, April 14th.
April 14th at 9 a.m.
Yep.
Our meeting scheduled. Opening will be sometime. We don't have to set a time for that, do we? No. I don't think we've ever done that. We
We
usually.
haven't in the past, but the way that I've been wording the notices now that we've changed our agenda format is that it will be open during the meeting scheduled for 9 a.m.
Great. Yes, I see that here too. And bids have to be received by 5 p.m. Monday, the 13th. To the audit.
Yep.
Entertain a motion to set that date.
So moved.
Second. A motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion passes. The road widener.
And that's what I put in for a bid or for on my budget. And it ain't on Sourcewell, so I just went with the specs off that and just put it out for bid. So then got that set for the 14th too.
Let that bid opening. So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All same sign, motion passes.
So on the pickup, I went through the state bid and I found one what I was kind of looking for, and that was in Oneida. And the price on that was $48,253. And so I took the specs that they had on that and then brought it to Jerry's. And Jerry's came back at 50,860. So they're 860 or 2,600 higher than Oneida. So I just I know they're over the 50,000 mark, but I didn't know with, Oneida being the 48,000, if I can just go ahead and just buy that, since I did give Jerry's, the chance for, try to spend the money local.
Yeah, I mean, so, and Andy, I'm glad Andy's here because he utilizes this more than any of us in this room. I think that we went to the state bid.
Right.
And that number came in, and the problem with the Jerry's bid is A, it's higher, and B, it's over the $50,000 mark. It does trigger essentially the requirement to solicit bids, but what have you experienced, Andy?
Yeah, legally, you can't just plain purchase off the state bid awards. You don't have to do like Brent did. You can just upfront buy off the state bid if you choose to. Also, you can buy from another vendor if they can match that state bid, match or beat the state bid. So you couldn't buy from them if they were more for the same vehicle. You would have to then do like we've done in other cases, is actually issue specs, request bids and advertise that. So you definitely have the option to buy off state bid. The alternative would be to have to go to bid, try to get a different look. And we've done it both ways. We bought off state bid and we issued specs. It's the only thing you couldn't legally accept the Jerry's bid. It's over
50.
and you didn't advertise. It's due diligence and checking. So you definitely have that option.
Yeah, so we should be able to approve the state bill.
Okay.
And move to.
Yep.
If I can. I have a motion in a second. Any further discussion? Are you getting rid of something then, or?
Yeah, I got a 98 Chevy.
Surplus?
Yep.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All same sign, motion passes.
Road trip
To Oneida.
So when I was at the short course, Deadwood, 2 weeks ago, they announced that, they did another 5 million for the Rafe. So
Is that 5 million over 3 years?
I think it was just 5 million for the 1 year.
How's that compared to the previous amounts we got? You know what that'll shake out to locally?
Don't know yet.
Talking to Andrew Peterson, he said hopefully in another month or two, they'll let each county know how much money each one's gonna get. So just kind of waiting to hear from there. And once I hear that, I don't know if I should just send this out to every township now, or should I just wait until there's a amount, then put the amount on there, or how do I go about that?
Just wait till we figure.
Just wait on that? Okay.
They're not asking for that.
Yeah, I think it was August 31st.
Got to apply by October 31st. Got to disperse the funds by next January. And this pool has, like, sounds like gets returned. If we don't use this, we can't sit on it forever. Right, but this one looks like
Will be required to send unused money back to DOR.
There is no.
By June.
By June of next year?
Yeah.
The bill, because there are counties that we sit for. Never split it.
Unlike other RAFE deals, did they always have to where counties could also use the funding for county secondary roads? They always have?
We
Okay.
never had the same.
Well, like, talking to somebody, they said like secondary roads, gravel roads are like secondary roads, so.
Yeah, it was in the last one, but I thought that
I couldn't tell you for the last one.
You maybe check with CCOG about that and see, or state DOT.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
because my reading of it, and I think maybe questioned or not, like, that like if we had secondary roads, we just like, no, all our roads are primary roads. So.
I was thinking secondary was more like if you had an unorganized township.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, thank you. I can tell you.
31
1 subsection 4 defines county secondary highway as the rural local highways in organized counties, excluding the approved county highway system that are under the supervision of the Board of Commissioners.
But our townships handle all the.
Sure.
Right, so it's not under the control of the board.
You'll vote for the conduct?
Yep, Brunix won it with $3.62. Brunix bid.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Both same sign.
Yeah, that's a lot higher than the last one.
That's why I looked at it.
Come back to Illinois, there's diesel 5.
Well, I filled up in Rock Valley yesterday, it was $4.19, which is 50 cents cheaper than it is in the South Dakota.
Geez.
This is, at a regular pump in South Dakota, this is about a $1 gallon change.
Really?
Depending on when you got this.
Yeah, yeah, it was just last week.
$140 built by you, I got a 50-gallon tank.
You gotta get a license.
It's not that expensive. This guy on Facebook, he's in Oregon. He was paying over $6.
Oh, I paid that in my truck. $800 bills tax.
Yeah. There goes all the stuff.
Oh,
Anything else, Brian?
Nope, just sitting for the ditch board.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to go into ditch board. Move to go into ditch board.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Approve invoice for the Pure North Steel, Pure North Steel for culvert.
Move to approve to pay the invoice.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Roll call.
Oh, better roll, sorry.
Oh, Concord.
Why is this roll call?
Well, this one is it.
Well, that next one.
Next, all the resolutions.
Yeah, the resolutions are,
Okay,
I don't
never
think
mind.
this needs to be.
I was like.
Sorry, I was reading ahead too.
I got a template.
You said it with such confidence.
Yeah. So. It was stuff by itself.
They just saw the bottom of the roll call.
Yeah.
To stand ahead.
So we've got okay, so we're gonna, got a motion, any further discussion on this bill? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes. Then we've got this aerial services to spray. The ditches. I think just play Craig.
Sure.
Or Yankton play.
Yep, Yankton Clay Ditch. Corey told me, he said, the best time would probably be the fall. When they said the leaves got to be like 75% leaves on the trees for it to be effective. So he's figuring fall, once the crops and stuff are out, so ain't no overspray killing anything.
Can't wait too long.
Right,
Gonna come run down the ditch with the aerial sprayer and
Yep.
doing broadleaf on the trees.
I believe so.
Move to approve the
Okay,
spring bid.
I have a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes.
guess I got one other thing I need. I was gonna ask you guys to see if it was okay. No, it's for the highway part.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All in favor, motion.
We come out of ditch board.
Motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passes, we're back in regular session.
My daughter, she works for SESDAC, and there's one gentleman, he's like in his early 30s or whatever, and he's big about heavy equipment and stuff. And she asked me if it'd be okay if I brought him, if went out some weekend and just kind of walked around, let him show some of the trucks and the loaders, and if that would be okay.
If you feel safe about it, comfortable with any liability concerns or.
Okay. So. All right, that's all I had. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.
Bird ban ordinance,
Still working on it. I met with Andy and I met with Lane and Callahan, and so we've now got a good direction. I've kind of worked through a first draft. I like it, but I don't love it. I'll probably contact CCOG, see if they've got any advice, and kind of let them take a look at the drafting I've done, and then hopefully by next commission meeting, we're kind of in a place where we can have a conversation about formally going through the process to change that ordinance. So no real update.
I wanted to share an update from the park board. So I brought up, there was a question about what park board's thoughts were about the campfires in the campground. And my expectation that I communicated to the board at that time was that they would want any burn ban to apply to every fire in Thanksgiving Park. And that is not the opinion of the park board. So when I brought it up to them, they said that long time tradition has been that as long as fires are under control and within fire rings, that they allow them regardless of whether there's a burn ban or not. And Shane Burge from Game Fish and Parks was there, and he said that that is Game Fish and Parks policy as well. So I just wanted to correct what I had shared inadequately there, so that you guys have that.
There are no other fires, correct? The only fires that are out there are in those specific, campsites.
Yeah.
Nobody's lighting up a tree pile or anything like that.
Not at this time, no.
Okay.
We have had discussions about prescribing burns in the future, but if we were to do something like that, we'd be doing it in concert with the fire department, and that'd be a different deal.
I'll take that into consideration. I'm still, like I said, I worked through a pretty good rough draft. I'm gonna contemplate that into this drafting. We'll get back together as a group.
Yeah, and I'd have to look back in there closely. I think that might actually be language that's in there that a campfire is not an open burn. So in that case, it's not relevant, but I just wanted to correct mine. Sure.
Is there a better way to get this word out to people about this? Cause the irony of having 5 fires like almost immediately after our last meeting was like not lost on me. So.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I think people post it on social media. Generally, folks that live around here understand the requirement of them over time. I think that it's just has kind of been a slow system. You got to convince a bunch of people who've been set in their ways that have been doing things their whole lives to change what they're doing. That's not easy.
Yeah.
This isn't really a burn thing. So that's separate.
It's just like under red flag though.
This is a red flag, because we can still issue a burn ban. Then I'm kind of wondering about the park though. If we come to a point where we have to issue a burn ban, because that doesn't affect burn barrels also. If we're in a burn ban, you can't be much.
It would be fair to say that, yeah, because this commission would have the authority to.
But I'd like to be able to bring
implement
that, at least talk about it, certain part. But if we're that bad that we have to go back to putting a burn ban.
We worked through some of that, and I can kind of modify the language and the conversation that we had based off of what you're describing now from the Playtime Park. But generally, was in the discussions as well, kind of talking about the authority of the emergency manager versus the authority of the commission. Commission has a lot more authority, as you should, right? And also, I don't believe that we've ever implemented a burn ban since we've gotten this red flag. That's always dictated, but it's important that we include a provision that allows the board to make a burn ban in the event that it's, for whatever reason, conditions aren't reaching red flag necessity, but burning would still be, of importance pursuant to what the fire department and law enforcement says. They could come to you and ask. So that'll be contemplated.
Or we can issue a burn ban today, that will guarantee some burning. That should really help us. Anything else for that?
No.
Rhonda, resolution to cancel outstanding treasurer's checks. Like normal,
As normal, I guess.
$951.03.
Correct.
I move to authorize resolution 2026-08.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Mochler,
Yes.
Graylow,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Easy,
Yes.
Gilbertson,
Yes.
Motion passes. Resolution 2026-09. reflect with taxes. Mobile homes move to reflect taxes.
These are all mobile homes that have been destroyed.
Yep.
So,
This is again routine. I move to approve 2026-09.
Second.
A motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Mochler,
Yes.
Graylow,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Easy,
Yes.
Gilbertson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Ryan.
thank you.
Vouchers? Let's see them.
Move to pay the vouchers.
Second. Motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Post same sign, motion passes. Entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Kevin,
Yes.
125 2 subsection 3, contractual.
Ah, thank you.
126. Move to go into executive session based on 127.
125
125.
2 subsection 3.
125, 2 subsection 3.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're in executive session.
Been a while since we've had to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Ron, oh, got the letter first.
Find myself like, being kind of that on next level. It's kind of cool. On executive session.
Motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, motion passes. We don't have anything else.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
A motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Both same sign, we're adjourned, thank you.